I love games. I am a boomer gamer. I love games that have terrible graphics all the way to the 4Ks. So when the game Cuphead came out, I was instantly attached. I believed I watched Pyrocynical's video on it, and bam, I was playing the game. And back in 2017, Cuphead wasn't a big thing. Only fairly recently have we been gifted with a Netflix Cuphead show and an additional delicious last course, which we'll be looking at today. Someday, I'm sure I'll make a video on the show, but today, I would like to take a look at the DLC and more importantly the bosses. If you like this video, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos that I bring out. Now, Cuphead was a mixture of run and gun stages and boss battles, the second option being what was more fun. The creators knew this, so they decided to make the next DLC entirely boss stages, and oh boy, I died a lot. Now, I'm no god gamer at Cuphead, but I would say I'm pretty good. My girlfriend has sat and watched me play the game, so ask her. For this video, I'll be going from my least favorite boss to my favorite boss and discussing them. With that out of the way, let's get right into the video. I would like to make a disclaimer. I do not think any of these boss battles are bad. I actually think they are all very good, just some are better than others. The Howling Aces. To start off, your platform is being flown by someone else and only moves whether you go to the left or to the right. While you are doing this, you have a dog attached to the jet throwing 3 tennis balls that fall at a trajectory, while the pilot dog comes down and wrecks your day. This only takes a little time to get used to. Use either spread or lobber to take the plane down. We then go to the second phase, which is incredibly easy for me. This is definitely one of the rare times Chaser is useful, and you are able to jump, avoiding the letters they give. Now, the next phase is the absolute bane of my existence. I absolutely hate backwards controls. Keep that in mind throughout the final phase. You start with 3 random ray guns shooting you while you have to fly the plane, while controls are backwards. You have dog bowls that come down to mess you up, all while after 10 seconds you go back to the rays. When I killed this group, I was more happy than not. Mortimer Freeze. Mortimer Freeze was I died once and then I was easily able to figure out how to end him. He starts off with either icicles that fall down and chase after you, or a Wizard of Oz thing and he sends out cards. After one of these, he'll bring out the Wail of the Damned, and this takes up about 3/4 of the screen. After this phase, he sends like a snow shockwave. Wow, I had to Google that one. That spikes and then comes out from the ground. He then does this roll across the screen thing, and if I didn't have a smoke bomb as my charm, I would have no idea how I would get through this. Or he turns into the new Samsung French refrigerator and sends out ice cubes, or popsicles that come out on screen. My main idea is to get close to use spread, back up and use chaser. After enough damage, he'll hold his stomach, turn into a damn snowflake. That's pretty wild. He can pop his eye out, which is my favorite because it's the easiest to dodge, or he can send out ice cream cones that chase after you. I particularly like this one. This one is particularly weak, but hey, get that knockout and move forward. The King of Games. I know this has a few different battles and I don't like some of them and I do like others, so let's get started with the pawns. They come out in patterns and then you have to parry. Once parried, they then just run out without a head. The idea is that you try to parry them each time they come down so they don't end up going after you. End all of them and move on to the next fight. The Knight. I, for some reason, had a lot of trouble with this guy. Anyways, he can do a few different attacks, all needing you to parry his head, which you have to do like 20 times, which is like way too much. But anyways, he could kneel down and grin and thrust his sword upwards. Take this time to hit him, or he could hold his sword sideways and thrust forward. He will fake out and pretend to be tired and thrust his sword upwards. Like I said, I really hate this guy. Next up, the Bishop. During this fight, he lights up candles that go around his head and the entire screen, that you can blow out by walking over them, and balls shoot out of his head every time he takes damage. He may recoil and he can just move different patterns, which is pretty annoying, but all in all, not a bad fight. the Rook, who is my favorite design out of all these bosses. Kinda sucks and is more annoying than not. He shoots what looks like brains out of an axe that he's sharpening that you have to parry them back to him. Not too bad. Sometimes he can send spark rings at you, which is the most annoying part of it. The Queen. There, for some reason, is a lot going on the screen for this one. All you need to do is parry the cannons to the area where the Queen is gonna be. The only problem, and bothersome, is all the crap that's on the screen. Anyways, get that knockout completed and move on. Moonshine Mob. Now, I love the music to this set, but nonetheless, you fight off the spider boss who doesn't do much attacking himself. He gets help from his lackeys. He can either call in some flies that chase you or bombs that blow if you come by them. I would just follow him with spread, that's the easiest for me. His next phase is a lightning bug dancing on a gramophone, and what's cool is that 3 out of the 6 rays come out periodically that are able to hurt you. That's awesome! While police bugs are running around. After the final phase, we get to the Anteater, and I enjoy the final phase. It's not easy, it's not hard. The Anteater will tell you which way it's about to shoot, from how its tongue's out. Attack the tongue in the game, and don't get fake knocked out, and keep it rolling. The Angel and Devil. A great secret boss fight that is kind of annoying to get to. If you don't know how to access it, look it up. The fight consists of keeping your eyes on the devil, but focus more on what is being shot at you. The cloud is pretty important because if you are below it at any point, you'll definitely get hit. There isn't much more to say about this boss fight. Don't get hit by the devil stuff, that's it. I know it's incredibly basic, but you have to get it here. It's the aesthetic of it, kind of being the last boss fight, or at least in my opinion. Esther Winchester. I don't know if it's the music, but I really like this one. I will say, I absolutely hate this ink shot. But anyways, this is the only stage that has the shooting in the plane. And I usually hate these stages, but man, I strongly enjoyed this fight nonetheless. You have her shooting the guns, a bird dropping TNT, and this annoying thing shooting shit at you. This is the trajectory that's coming at you. Anyways, a way easier phase. She vacuums all the money from the world that you are in. Dodge these and shoot her. Not long, she turns into a bratwurst, I do not know. But this one has a few more things after you. Cans of sausages, steak being shot at you. I bet money that this was the final phase. But nope, at the very end, a tin can of sausages come out with tiny gaps you can go through. Light them up like a tree and get that knockout. Honorable mention, Chef Saltbaker. Remember the trajectory bullshit I was talking about before? This most certainly takes the cake, no pun intended. 1 out of 3 different attacks. One being limes, another being sugar cubes, and finally some dough being cut and thrown on screen. And I mean different angles and different parts of the screen. The next phase you get to attack is 4 corners of the screen, all while the salt is being sneezed at you. Added to this, he gets cilantro falling down at the speed of continental drift. We then get to the before last phase, which in my opinion is the best cinematic of the game. Once you defeat this, the final phase is just as hard. I enjoy this one because it's a good send-off and a good ending to the story. And my number 1 favorite DLC boss fight is Glumstone the Giant. I can't figure out why this is my favorite matchup. I can say I strongly enjoy the platforming fighting. It reminds me of another boss from this game. You have things being shot at you from the ground while the boss has 3 potential attacks. First of them being geese, and then an attack followed by a tomcat who comes from across the screen, and a potion making studio going on inside his mouth. After this, the boss's next phase, he uses his hands to come to the middle of the screen. They're puppets and they just throw a ball back and forth, all while you have bugs coming out from underground. This doesn't last long. You then get swallowed and have to fight this thing, all while jumping over platforms that continuously flip over. And this thing is shooting drumsticks at you. Get the knockout, and it was really deserved. And that was everything with the Cuphead DLC. I'll just say, I think the animations, and especially Saltbaker, were great. I can't think of a single boss that I didn't genuinely like. This hopefully may open the door to more DLCs, or maybe even another game. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. I'm working towards making more videos and more content, so please make sure you stick around and see it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.